The Andersonville National Historic Site started out as a stockade built roughly a year and a half before the Civil War was over. It was meant to hold Union soldiers captured by the Confederacy. Designed to hold a maximum of 10,000 prisoners, it ended up being packed with 32,000 at its most crowded. Many of the men were wounded and/or starving. The conditions were terrible. Their water was contaminated, disease ran rampant, and they had very little shelter from the fierce sun and chilling winter rain. It was used for 14 months. In those months, 45,000 prisoners passed through, with 12,920 dying. The dead were buried in a cemetery just beyond the prison itself. Today, the entire site has 3 elements: the site of the military prison, the Andersonville National Cemetery, and the National Prisoner of War Museum. Fort Pulaski National Monument was used as a prisoner of war camp for the Civil War in 1862 with an interesting story. April 10, 1862, Union forces asked for a surrender on the fort to prevent more casualties. The offer was rejected and the fort was ready for combat. Though it never endured a land assault, a rifled cannon struck a corner wall after only 30 hours. They surrendered the fort. 2 soldiers, 1 Confederate and 1 Union, were injured. The Confederates were haunted by the regret of surrendering for decades. Yet the siege at Fort Pulaski was a landmark experiment in the history of military science and invention. Today, you can take a walk through the fort or buy a guided tour.